Just 30 seconds left in the session. Okay, that's pretty disappointing, but we can turn it around tomorrow.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to a variant of this track back in 1978. It was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on a circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now, I want to ask you about Pierre Gasly. As ever, the threat of unreliability is never far away, and indeed they'll be starting out of position today due to a power unit component change. So it's going to be a difficult task to move forward from there.
Everyone has to deal with penalties or reliability issues from time to time throughout their career. You just have to suck up the pain and get on with the job at hand. Today isn't about performing a miracle to put the car back where it should be. It's about effective damage limitation.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, and Red completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, and Ericsson, Magnussen, Leclerc, Sainz, and Sebastian Vettel, Sirotkin, Alonso, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Hartley, Grosjean, Hulkenberg, Lewis Hamilton, and Sergio Perez. Gasly, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Lance Stroll rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
This rain could be with us for a while. Light rain conditions for the foreseeable future. Dries seem like the best tyre for now. This light rain is going to be with us for a while now. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment. your MFD for a new strategy option.
A great win then for the Mercedes team today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
A reliable car, that was the most important factor here. This was a real battle of attrition, and you could tell those at the front were trying to find a balance between running their outright pace and taking care of the car to reach the end.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix. And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Well, the lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, my driver of the day was Nico Hulkenberg. He did a cracking job moving through the field and just highlighting why he's so highly rated in the paddock.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though,
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard.
hello and welcome to the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. And let's hope we see more of those in the race today. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. Joining me for today's race once again is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Red. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long-term remains to be seen.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, Red, Perez, Sainz, Ocon, and Fernando Alonso, Hulkenberg, Van Dorn, Roman Grosjean, and Gasly, Hartley, Magnussen, Marcus Ericsson and Lance Stroll, Sirotkin and Charles Leclerc rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus. Ricardo's taken the lead. Okay, we can take you this lap. Come on, you can win that place back. Go now. Well done, good finish. You stepped up and achieved what we asked. Good job.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
And I can see now the drivers are making their way out. We need Red Bull fighting at the front. They do an incredible amount for Formula One. And that's another winner's trophy heading back to Milton Keynes. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Red increases their championship lead. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I'm going to go for Marcus Ericsson. He's clearly got a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, and he's matured a lot over the past few seasons, which served him well today.
On to the constructors then. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Force India this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.